everyone, Cleo and Janelle here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you're not, I had this recorded in a different way and the audio was absolute garbage. So let's rework it. Today I really wanted to talk about the Disney Princess line as a whole because I was a Disney Princess girly growing up. That franchise was my absolute life. I had the TV, I had I don't want to call them movies, but they had like the sing-along songs and the Disney Princess stories. They almost had something called Disney Princess Enchanted Tales. It ran for a total of 1 DVD. We were supposed to get another one, but it got dropped and canceled, and the line kind of shifted what it was going for. But that's okay, because the Disney Princess line has grown so much, it's mind-blowing. So it's a little bit of a backstory. The Disney Princess line was created by Disney Consumer Products Chairman Andy Mooney in the year 2000. Mooney has been quoted as saying, quote, "Standing in line in the arena of a Disney on Ice show, I was surrounded by little girls dressed head to toe as princesses. They weren't even Disney products. They were generic princess products. Clearly, there was latent demand here. For every great franchise, there's always somebody going, are we sure we should do that? I don't know about that." In this case, that was Walt Disney's nephew, Roy E. Disney. Roy was against the line, for Disney had so far been able to avoid making characters interact from classic fairy tales and other narratives, and he was worried that it would weaken the individual mythologies of the characters. He didn't want, say, Cinderella interacting with Ariel, who was a mermaid who lives under the sea in a different time period. He was afraid that in doing so, kids may get mixed up of the times and the movies, and things would kind of bleed over into each other. So he was kind of wary on getting this whole Disney Princess franchise line going. Mooney assured that the princesses would never make eye contact with each other in official licensed media and merchandise. That way their mythologies would stay separate. I guess that worked, because in 2000 we were officially presented with the Disney Princess franchise line. After his passing in 2009, things kind of stayed the same. There weren't as many like Disney sing-along songs, those kind of ended. But things stayed normal. The princesses would not look at each other, they would not do anything together. However, in 2018, during Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, the princesses are all seen hanging out in a room, talking with one another. So this is no longer the case. It happens when the main character sidekick? The main sidekick character? Whatever you want to call Vanellope von Schweetz, ends up stumbling into the Disney Princess dressing room trying to hide, and she finds all of the princesses, and they are very confused by Vanellope's existence. They wonder if she's a princess, asking her many different questions like, was she kidnapped or enslaved? Does she have magic hair or magic hands? Do animals talk to her? And etc. Vanellope's kind of worried. She offers to call the cops, but then Rapunzel asks if everybody thinks that her problems were solved because a big, strong man came to help. Vanellope says yes, because she's sick and tired of it, and they decide that yes, Vanellope is a princess. That said, Vanellope's not really considered a princess in the lineup. Not really sure why. Perhaps it's because it was in the sequel. And since 2023, there have been many different franchise pieces that show all of the princesses interacting, hugging, talking, having a wonderful time. I guess we have Wreck-It Ralph 2 to thank for that, so thanks Wreck-It Ralph 2! So the Disney Princess official lineup as of February 2025 consists of the following princesses: Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Moana, and Raya. Princesses that were once included in the Disney Princess franchise lineup but were removed for one reason or another include Tinkerbell from Walt Disney's Peter Pan. Tinkerbell was removed in 2005 to become the head of the Disney Fairies franchise, which was a huge line in and of itself, which maybe we'll get to talk about someday. The other character that started out as a princess but was later also dropped in 2005 is Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This could be possibly due to controversy, but some also say that it was due to poor sales in the merchandise that featured her, because Hunchback of Notre Dame had very poor sales as well, but not poor enough to not have her in the lineup. So that said, what does it take to be a Disney princess? So we know about the current princesses and the past princesses that were removed for one reason or another. So what does it take to become an official Disney princess in the franchise? So in order to become a princess, a character must meet the following requirements. They must be human or similar to human, in regards to Ariel, since she's a mermaid. They must be the main character or main supporting character in an animated Disney movie. They must be born a princess, married a prince, or perform a heroic act such as Mulan. They must appear in the Disney Princess line of merchandise. And they must be the first film in a franchise, excluding sequels and direct-to-video films. While this isn't an official list, because Disney has never came out and said this is what it takes, but this is a list that fans throughout the times have created based on what the characters have in common. So that said, why aren't all of the characters princesses? So there were characters that were once considered because they had one or more of these features. The first one being Jane Porter from Tarzan, who was announced in a UK magazine as a teaser for the new Disney Princess line in 1999. In 2000, Jane made her second appearance in the magazine, but that was all. They cut her and never spoke of her as a princess, never referenced her as a princess. So who's to say what really happened there? Giselle, who was born royal and is a human and has performed acts of heroism, why isn't she a princess? Well, surprise, there were plans to add her to the official Disney Princess lineup in 2007. However, those were discarded when the company realized that they would have to pay Amy Adams, who was the voice and the live-action face of Giselle. They would have to pay her royalties to use her likeness on products such as dolls, folders, what have you. Along with Jane and Giselle, Anna and Elsa were also once considered for the Disney Princess lineup. However, Frozen took off. It became a worldwide phenomenon. Therefore, it made way too much money to be part of the Disney Princess lineup. So Anna and Elsa got their own franchise, which is the Frozen franchise. So we've talked about the princesses that were once included but dropped, the ones that were once considered but didn't make the cut for one reason or another. So what about the ones who were never considered in the first place? Let's start out with Kida from Atlantis. Despite a lot of fans wanting Kida to be in the Disney Princess franchise lineup, there's a few theories floating around why she's not, but the biggest one is probably because Atlantis did poorly at the box office when compared to these other movies. Megara from Hercules, also known as Meg, is often considered a guest of the franchise, but never a full-fledged Disney Princess lineup character. Some theories behind this include that Hercules did not make enough at the box office, it was considered a quote-unquote boys movie, and Disney just may not consider Meg quote-unquote appropriate for the franchise because she's a little more risque, I guess you could say, compared to the other girlies. Two more characters from the same franchise that are never considered are Princess Sophia and, by extension, Princess Amber from Sophia the First. They're both too young, but in Sophia's case, she's too young, did not start with a theatrical movie, as Once Upon a Princess was a TV movie, but she does have her own franchise. Amber obviously meets the same criteria as they're about the same age, but also Amber is not the main character, which automatically takes her out of the running. In the same universe, Princess Elena from the Disney Channel show Elena of Avalor is often considered a guest, kind of like Meg, but never one of the princesses. She had a television movie debut in Elena and the Secret of Avalor. Ariel's sisters, Atina, Alana, Adela, Aquata, Arista, and Andrina, were also never considered, despite being born royalty just like Ariel. The movie does not focus on them, so therefore they were never considered. They had very minimal screen time in the first movie. Our last girlie who was sadly never considered was Ariel's daughter, Melody. Despite being referred to as Princess Melody multiple times throughout the movie, as she is the daughter of Eric and Ariel, she debuted in a sequel. Therefore, it takes her out entirely. However, Melody was able to get some princess scraps, I guess you could say, because she appeared throughout the Disney Princess sing-along songs, often getting a segment in those. And she does appear in the ending song where it shows all of the princesses like dancing together from clips from their movie. She also appeared in the Disney Princess 2003 annual, and she represented the sign Virgo. The Disney Princess franchise is huge, and I would love to explore it a little bit more in depth, maybe take a look at each individual princess that didn't quite make the cut for one reason or another, and really get down to the nitty-gritty of just why they didn't make it. So maybe we can do that someday. But today I just wanted to touch up on the brief history, the current lineup, and the ones who just fell for one reason or another. If you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff, please let me know. I'm always open to ideas of things to research, and I will see you next time. Bye!